Hello, New York Yankees fans. We have brand new exclusive videos and the latest news for you. Before we get started, we'd like to invite you to join our channel and give this video a like. It's crucial to get exclusive access to the latest updates. The rumor swirling around the Bronx feels heavier than usual, the kind that clings to the walls of the clubhouse and follows every camera angle, every whispered exchange, every pause in a press conference. According to the speculation gaining traction, Aaron Boone, known publicly for his calm demeanor and steady leadership, reached a breaking point behind closed doors and decided to make a statement that no one saw coming. The alleged decision to distance Giancarlo Stanton from his regular role is being framed not as a tactical move, but as a disciplinary message, one that echoes Boone's belief that no name is bigger than the culture he is trying to protect. Insiders hint that this is less about performance and more about standards, about routines ignored, meetings missed, or attitudes that clashed with expectations. In a city where every gesture is magnified, Boone's supposed lack of forgiveness is being read as a warning shot, not just to one player, but to the entire roster. The idea circulating is that discipline, not star power, defines leadership in this dugout. Fans debate whether this is the firm hand the Yankees need or an unnecessary gamble with a powerful bat. What makes the rumor compelling is the contrast between Boone's public patience and this alleged private firmness. It paints a picture of a manager willing to absorb criticism to reinforce accountability, even if it means sidelining a player many consider indispensable. As the speculation deepens, the narrative grows more complex, weaving Boone's own history into the story as a former player who understands clubhouse dynamics better than most. Those close to the situation suggest that Boone's past experiences taught him that discipline, when delayed, can erode trust faster than any losing streak. The alleged friction with Stanton is being described as a slow burn rather than a sudden explosion, built over repeated moments that tested boundaries. In this version of events, Boone did not act impulsively, but waited, observed, and finally chose to act when he felt the message had to be unmistakable. The rumor implies that conversations were had, warnings were given, and expectations were clearly outlined long before any separation occurred. This is why the move, if true, is being framed as unforgiving yet calculated. Boone's supposed stance sends a message that preparation, respect, and adherence to team principles outweigh individual routines. Observers speculate that Boone believes discipline can stabilize a roster under constant pressure, especially one carrying championship expectations. The irony is that this approach might create short-term turbulence while aiming for long-term unity. Whether Stanton's reaction fuels reconciliation or deepens the divide remains an open question in this swirling narrative. The speculation also places Giancarlo Stanton at the center of a psychological crossroads, portrayed not as a villain, but as a star navigating the weight of expectations and personal rhythms. Rumors suggest that Stanton's preparation habits, demeanor, or responses to feedback may have conflicted with Boone's vision of collective discipline. In this telling, the issue is not defiance but friction, the kind that arises when elite talent meets rigid structure. Some voices claim Stanton felt singled out. Others argue he underestimated Boone's resolve. The story being told paints Stanton as confident in his own process, perhaps too confident for a manager intent on uniformity. This clash of philosophies fuels the intrigue because it raises broader questions about how modern teams balance individuality with conformity. Fans dissect every past interaction, every clipped quote, searching for clues that now seem prophetic. The rumor mill suggests that Boone's decision was meant to reset boundaries, forcing reflection rather than humiliation. Still, the idea of benching a regular presence reverberates through the fan base, igniting debates about respect, ego, and leadership. In this speculative universe, Stanton's silence or subtle reactions are being interpreted as strategic restraint, waiting for the right moment to respond through action rather than words. What amplifies the rumor is the broader context of a franchise steeped in tradition, where discipline has historically been both revered and contested. Boone's alleged move is being compared to old-school managerial decisions, moments when authority was asserted to preserve order. Yet this is a modern clubhouse, filled with personalities accustomed to dialogue and flexibility. The speculation suggests Boone is trying to bridge eras, blending empathy with firmness, even if it costs him public favor. Critics argue that such rigidity risks alienating stars, while supporters claim it reinforces fairness. The Yankees' environment magnifies this tension, as every internal decision becomes external theater. According to the rumor, Boone accepted that risk knowingly, believing consistency would ultimately earn respect. This paints Boone not as unforgiving, but as resolute, drawing a line he refuses to blur. The question hovering is whether this line will hold or be quietly erased through compromise. For now, the story thrives on uncertainty, fueled by anonymous whispers and body language analysis, turning a private disciplinary matter into a public saga that refuses to settle. As the narrative continues, some speculate that this episode could redefine Boone's tenure, marking a shift towards stricter enforcement of standards. The alleged discipline of Stanton is being framed as symbolic, a moment designed to recalibrate power dynamics. Boone's defenders say this is leadership at its core, making uncomfortable choices to protect cohesion. Detractors see potential overreach, arguing that star management requires nuance rather than ultimatums. The rumors suggest Boone weighed these perspectives before acting, choosing conviction over consensus. In doing so, he reportedly aimed to remind everyone that commitment is measured daily, not by reputation. This storyline resonates because it humanizes the manager, portraying him as someone grappling with competing priorities under relentless scrutiny. Whether the rumor reflects reality or exaggeration, it underscores how fragile harmony can be at the highest level. The tension between Boone and Stanton, real or imagined, becomes a lens through which fans project their own beliefs about discipline, respect, and success. Until clarity emerges, speculation fills the void, keeping the conversation alive and emotionally charged. The second part of this unfolding rumor dives deeper into the supposed ripple effects inside the clubhouse, where every decision sends subtle signals that players absorb instantly. According to the speculation, Boone's alleged disciplinary stance created a moment of silence, the kind that forces introspection among teammates. Some are rumored to have quietly supported the move, interpreting it as proof that standards apply universally. Others allegedly questioned whether such firmness might disrupt chemistry. This internal split adds layers to the story, suggesting that Boone's decision, if true, was as much about testing unity as enforcing rules. The narrative portrays Boone as aware of these undercurrents, trusting that short-term discomfort would lead to long-term alignment. In this version, the manager's authority is not imposed loudly, but asserted through action, letting the consequences speak. The rumor thrives on this tension, imagining closed-door meetings filled with careful words and unspoken reactions. The idea that discipline could serve as a catalyst for renewed focus makes the story compelling, even as uncertainty clouds every detail. Speculation also turns toward how Stanton himself might be processing this moment, framed as a personal challenge rather than a public embarrassment. Insiders imagined by the rumor suggest that Stanton views adversity as fuel, using perceived slights to sharpen his edge. In this telling, the alleged discipline becomes a mirror, reflecting habits and attitudes back to him. Whether he accepts that reflection or resists, it defines the next chapter of the story. Some believe Stanton will respond by reasserting his professionalism, aligning more closely with Boone's expectations. Others think pride could complicate reconciliation. This ambiguity keeps fans engaged, projecting outcomes that align with their hopes or fears. The rumor avoids painting Stanton as defiant, instead portraying him as contemplative, weighing his next move carefully. Such nuance adds credibility to the speculation, making it feel less like gossip and more like an evolving drama rooted in human emotion and competitive pressure. The broader baseball world, as imagined in this narrative, watches closely, interpreting Boone's alleged firmness as a statement about modern leadership. Commentators speculate that this approach challenges the perception that star players are untouchable. Boone's supposed refusal to bend reinforces the idea that accountability remains central, even in an era emphasizing player empowerment. This rumor positions the Yankees as a testing ground for that balance, where tradition and evolution collide. Fans from other teams weigh in, some applauding the stance, others warning a backlash. The story's reach extends beyond one clubhouse, sparking debates about how managers earn respect without alienation. Boone's reputation, built on calm communication, gains a sharper edge in this telling, suggesting adaptability rather than rigidity. The speculation implies that Boone understands leadership as situational, requiring firmness at times and flexibility at others. Whether this moment represents a permanent shift or a temporary stance remains unanswered, keeping the narrative alive. As the rumor matures, attention turns to potential resolutions. Imagine scenarios where dialogue replaces distance. Some speculate about a quiet meeting where Boone and Stanton clear the air, reaffirming mutual goals. Others envision a longer standoff, where actions speak louder than conversations. This uncertainty fuels endless analysis, with every practice report and media appearance scrutinized for hints. The story thrives on these micro-signals, transforming ordinary moments into symbolic gestures. Boone's body language, Stanton's tone, and teammates' comments all become pieces of a puzzle fans are eager to solve. The rumor suggests that resolution, when it comes, will be understated, consistent with Boone's style. No grand announcements, just a return to routine that signals alignment. Until then, speculation fills the silence, maintaining momentum. Ultimately, this rumored episode is less about discipline and more about identity, about what the Yankees choose to represent under Boone's guidance. The alleged decision to distance Stanton from his role becomes a narrative device, illustrating values rather than outcomes. Boone is portrayed as a steward of culture, willing to challenge comfort for clarity. Stanton emerges as a star navigating expectations beyond performance. Together, their rumored clash reflects the complexities of leadership in a pressure cooker environment. Whether the story proves accurate or fades into myth, it captures the imagination because it resonates with universal themes of authority, respect, and growth. Fans remain divided, conversations remain heated, and the rumor continues to evolve, sustained by uncertainty and enduring fascination with how strong personalities collide in pursuit of a shared goal. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. The rumor does not lose strength as time passes. Instead, it seems to gain new interpretations, as if every pause from Boone and every restrained reaction from Stanton feeds the imagination of those watching closely. In this speculative narrative, the situation becomes a lesson unfolding in real time, where silence speaks as loudly as action. Boone is portrayed as someone who understands the power of letting tension breathe, allowing players to sit with discomfort rather than rushing to smooth it over. According to the whispers, this approach forces accountability to come from within instead of being imposed repeatedly from above. Teammates are imagined reflecting on their own habits, wondering if they too are being evaluated under the same invisible lens. The rumor frames the clubhouse as quieter, more focused, with conversations measured and routines sharpened. This atmosphere, while intense, is described as purposeful, a recalibration rather than a punishment. Boone's alleged firmness becomes a mirror held up to the entire roster, reinforcing that expectations are not situational but constant. In this telling, the absence of public explanation is deliberate, preventing the narrative from being hijacked by excuses or justifications. The speculation suggests Boone believes clarity comes from consistency, not speeches. As a result, Every day without resolution adds weight to the story, making the eventual outcome feel significant, regardless of what it may be. Another layer of the rumor explores how external pressure magnifies internal decisions, especially in a market that thrives on drama. The alleged discipline of Stanton becomes a talking point far beyond the clubhouse, shaping perceptions of Boone's leadership across the league. In this imagined scenario, Boone is aware of the noise, but chooses not to engage, trusting that time will filter truth from speculation. This restraint is framed as confidence, a belief that strong leadership does not require constant defense. Stanton, meanwhile, is speculated to be equally aware of the narrative surrounding him, feeling the weight of assumptions placed on his character and professionalism. The rumor suggests that this external scrutiny adds complexity, turning a private matter into a public test of composure. How each man carries himself under this spotlight becomes part of the evaluation, not just for fans but for peers. The story paints both figures as navigating a delicate balance between pride and pragmatism. Boone's silence is interpreted as authority, Stanton's restraint as calculation. Together, they embody the tension between control and response, a dynamic that fuels the speculation and keeps audiences invested in every subtle development. In the end, this ongoing rumor is imagined as a defining chapter, not because of a single decision, but because of what it symbolizes for the future. Boone's alleged unwillingness to bend is portrayed as a declaration of intent, a signal that standards will not fluctuate with status. Stanton's response, still unfolding in the speculative narrative, represents the challenge every star faces when structure tightens around individuality. The story resonates because it reflects broader truths about teamwork, leadership, and adaptation under pressure. Fans project outcomes that align with their beliefs, some envisioning unity forged through conflict, others anticipating lingering fractures. Yet the rumor itself thrives on ambiguity, refusing to settle into a clear conclusion. It remains a living narrative shaped by perception as much as reality. Whether it ultimately ends in reconciliation or continued distance, its impact lies in the questions it raises rather than the answers it provides. In this imagined saga, Boone and Stanton are not adversaries, but participants in a complex negotiation of respect, expectation, and identity, a negotiation that continues to captivate attention precisely because it remains unresolved. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.